This week in the podcast for New All Ages Comics for the week of November 8, 2017, it's the Spectral and Turtle crossover you thought you would never see. The 9,000-pound gorilla comes out with their 12th book in the series. One of the best graphic novels of the year so far, Red's Planet. It's out with their sequel. We have 2 go-to comics and 1 comic book that teenagers will go ape over.
Hey, and welcome to Daddy Mojo. It's the podcast where we'll talk about parenting, all-age comic books, toys, and more. Now, here's your host, Trey Burley.
Hey there, it's Trey with Daddy Mojo. Thanks for checking out the podcast this week for New All Ages Comics. Now, this graphic novel really threw us for a loop because we didn't read the first one. Didn't know anything about it. So when we got it in the mail, we were like, hey, we'll give it a shot. And we wrote a full, proper review of it last week, because it really blew us away. It's Red's Planet, Friends and Foes. This is the second book in this series from Eddie Pittman. And it's beautiful. I feel kind of dopey calling it beautiful. It really is. I mean, when you look at some of the art, you can distinguish what you like and what you don't like, and some is timeless. That's what I say this is beautiful. It's a very timeless style art. And Eddie has old hooks to Disney. He's if you look at his biography on his website, redsplanet.com, he's a classic Disney illustrator who's done some work on some amazing Disney properties, Mulan, Tarzan, Fantasia 2000, Lilo and Stitch, and some others. But he was also a writer and story artist for Phineas and Ferb. Phineas and Ferb, one of the best shows ever on television. And it's neat because this and somebody else in Phineas and Ferb that we ran across that we didn't know did work with them, but we immediately loved their work. There was something about that property. That was lightning in a bottle, where that show, Phineas and Ferb, so perfectly captured everything that kids loved and laughed at, and parents could laugh at also. Just a great show without being a distinct kids show. Because if you say kids show, kids aren't going to like it because they may think it talks down to them or some kind of baby show. That was lightning in a bottle. This book, Red's Planet, Friends and Foes, has that same kind of mojo because it is beautiful. Again, you look at the art, it's classic illustrations. The colors in this, you don't often pay attention to colors in graphic novels, at least I don't. They're there and you acknowledge them, but rarely do they mesh so well with the characters, the way they're drawn, and the way the story evolves, as they do in Red's Planet, Friends and Foes. It's really great. And the other thing that is fabulous about this is the story adheres equally to boys and girls. You look at a graphic novel or a comic book, you can say, well, girls will like it more than boys, or boys will like it more than girls, or whatever. This is just a graphic novel that's great. And who's going to like it? Every kid over 6 and up. 7-year-olds will be able to read it independently, probably. 8-year-olds will be able to read it independently for sure. But even through middle school, they're going to like reading this book because it really has heart. The characters take on such a natural evolution. It's really great stuff. Can't say enough great things about this. I haven't even told you the story. Here's the story. Red is an Earthling who has crash landed on a different planet, hopefully, and she is making her way with the aliens, meeting them, trying to figure out what's going on. So it's very much science fiction, but it's very human at the same time. Great book. Highly recommend it. It's our book of the week. I need a book of the week sound.
Thanks for listening to Daddy Mojo. Be sure to tune in next time. For more information on any of the things we talked about today, just check out the website, daddymojo.net, or hit us up at Daddy Mojo on social media.